Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another Retro Adventures. Because at the end of another week, the end of another poll, we've got a fantastic win for Brigands of Mirkwood for MERP. Now this is going to be a PDF review, so we're going over to the computer desktop to have a look at that in a wee second. And as usual, I'll be back at the end of the video with some other poll related stuff and some other channel related stuff. But before I do that, I have to ask you to like, subscribe and comment below. It's something I don't usually do because I put an animated banner type thing down there. But I've been told this really works and it helps out the channel. So if you'd like to make a comment, that'd be very much appreciated. Make a comment and let me know of other adventures that I could cover on the channel. That's something I've never asked you before, but there's loads of adventures out there I've never heard of. Tell me what are the absolute brilliant ones, we'll put them in the poll and I'll cover them in the future. Or one of the fantastic role-playing games and supplements. I've covered so many that have been suggested by viewers in the past and discovered so many great games suggested by yous. So do that. Go into the comments and suggest adventures, supplements, role-playing games, stuff I can cover on the channel. I stick it all in a big list and I put it in the polls and do cover it. And I've discovered so much great stuff. I also have to say thanks to my Patreons who support the channel, so I'd like to thank them from the absolute bottom of my heart. Their efforts are so much appreciated, they really are. But I do have to ask you, if you'd like to support the channel, or you'd like to see these videos a week early, or you'd like to see Patreon exclusives, of which I put one up this week, then there's a Patreon in the description down below. If you check it out, it'd be very much appreciated. But anyway, let's get over and have a look at Brigands of Mirkwood. So, this is Brigands of Mirkwood, which came out from Iron Crown Enterprises, ICE, for MERP, Middle-earth Role-Playing, and Rolemaster in 1987. And I have to say it's a bit of a disappointment to me, because what I thought I was going to be getting was a big, beefy adventure. You know, a fancy role-playing adventure module from J.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth. And I was really looking to see what direction that adventure writers were going to be taking a big, detailed adventure within Middle-earth. And that's not what this is. While it has 3 short adventures in it, what it is a big detailed adventure location, detailing the town of Strayhold, near the edge of the Mirkwood, and it's very much a brigandish type of town. It's full of, there's a rogues guild, there's the strays guild, which is kind of like a beggars guild, and there's an evil wizard there. It's definitely a evil town. A place where the players will go and there'll be lots of danger around there. You can't trust people. And that's pretty interesting. And the town itself is very, very interesting indeed. It's just that it's not kind of what I expected. Based on The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, this supplement is set just in the most remarkable town of southern Rovanian, has the gullies and ravines that form the streets of Strayhold, a few miles south and east of Mirkwood, called by many names, a few of which are complementary. It is home to scores of merchants and travellers who ply the roads to ruin. It also harbours an unsavoury lot of highwaymen, petty thieves and beggars. Brigands features 3 complete adventures, all are self-contained and easily used with other locales. And going to the back cover, the settlement of Strayhold, with its ragtag collection of buildings, has the air of a dark carnival. For first-time acquaintances, its corduroy streets form an intimidating labyrinth filled with hawkers and revellers. Strayhold's shops cater to vagabonds and rogues out to spend their ill-gotten gains, and to travellers looking for excitement or rare goods. All manner of merchandise is available from the tangled streets. Sellers vary from friendly and helpful to dangerous and deadly. Unfortunately, most of the inhabitants lean towards the latter. It contains 2 full colour pages featuring beautifully detailed city map, an area map of southern Mirkwood, major locations detailing an evil magician's castle, the huge rogues clan hall, the Angry Horse Inn, plus enlarged city sections. Strayhold, a rude community not to be forgotten and not to be taken lightly. 3 complete adventures: the excursion to Strayhold, raid on Rogue's Clan Hall, the Castle of Ledenorth. Holds the exclusive worldwide license for fancy role-playing games and adult board games based on J.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Now, that kind of details what's in there. And unlike my usual where I have to go straight to spoilers territory as soon as we go inside, this time I can go a few pages in, because it's just detailing out a location. So we've got here inside a nice colour map of the forest, the Mirkwood, showing where the city is, or where the town is. A contents page. As we can see, there's only 36 pages in here, 17 of which are the background. Then we've got 3 pages of Excursion to City of Strays, 7 pages of the Raid on Clan Hall of Rogues, and 6 pages on the Castle of Leadnoth. Some ideas for alternative adventures, and Games Master's notes, and there's another map inside the back cover. So, it details out terms, abbreviations, all that to get us in. And how to convert statistics between Rolemaster and other games. We've got a table of different NPCs, and Rolemaster and MERP love their tables. So the idea of having so many characters here with their names across the top, next line, going in sort of levels and stats and abilities and languages and spells and everything, just down a column. It makes it unreadable to me, but I suppose they were getting the information across. And then we go into Strayhold, and we go through the peculiar clans of Strayhold, including the Beggars Society, the Strays Society as they call it, the Masters of the Firetown, because it mentions in the introduction that it's got lots of different names. And it jumps between those names as you read through, which can be a little confusing. I kind of had to keep going back to this section to see the different names to make sure they were still referring to Strayhold. We've got the Clan of Strays. As I said, it's kind of like a beggars guild, but they are organised. So they will take genuine beggars and force them out of the best begging territory. We've got the Rogues clan. Different characters it introduces. Hrothgar Ednu, the Lord of the Muggers, is brutal as his business. Alet the Breeze, the trainer and overseer of the clan's cut purses, and so on. And then we've got the Mage, who kind of trolls the place, schooled in the blackest of arts. We've got introduction to the Wagon Folk, and we can see one of the maps of the city here. Now, we get a full map later on, but this kind of demonstrates one of the things I really, really like. So, the city of Strayhold is built into a series of ravines. So, the streets don't have a crossing pattern or anything. They are what buildings could get crammed into these narrow ravines, built against the walls with spaces to get through, and getting from A to B can be very confusing. But of course, there's buildings on top of areas as well. So as we can see at the bottom here, a bridge going across, and obviously walls for protection and all that. I really, really like the way it's a town built into this very cramped situation. I think it's very unlike any town I've encountered in real life, which is a real advantage of a fantasy game, that you can create something that nobody's seen before. Goes through different people you can encounter. The marketplace, we've got the Angry Horse Inn with blueprints of the different floors of it, what different rooms there are. Fortune Square. Again, different people you can encounter. The Night Singer's Way, undoubtedly the most sordid area of the town located in West Rovanian, including Wartic the Herbalist. Again, different plates, Luck's Alley, the Old Mark with Mystic's Hollow and Flagon Lane, the Strays Clan Hall, it details that out, the Stray House where they stay, the Shadows, and then we're on to the first adventure. So, this is going to be detailing stuff, and if you don't want spoilers, this is the point that you turn off. As we've seen, it's a very interesting location, and the adventures are going to be pretty short. Anyway, this first adventure is basically a shopping trip. Somebody has heard that a particular item is for sale, a book within Firetown, so is sending the adventurers because it's a very, very dangerous place to go. So, we've got this. The Botartle Terran Seeks can be found in the shop of Midman Parcel, stands in a row of stores in the alley that connects Fortune Square and Flesh Merchant Street. There's different NPCs it details out, the setting, starting the players on it, different encounters they can have in Strayhold. There's theft, they get split up, there's a witness, random encounters, and that's the adventure over. There's not much to it at all. These adventures are pretty short. This is just pretty much a selection of random things which can happen to people, giving them a reason to go to this setting. And that's as good as anything, I suppose. You bought a setting, you want to use it, you've got an adventure to get people to go there. Raid on the Clan Hall of the Rogues. So, you're going to be going to Strayhold, and you're going to be going to turn over the Clan Hall of Rogues. And it's a fairly standard dungeon bash. We're going to get some detailed maps of the building, and we're going to be going through there room by room, doing a dungeon to get the items they've been sent for. So we've got some NPCs here, detailing those out. The Clan Hall shows how it's absolutely crammed into this ravine, and the rooms on the floor. It details them one by one, going through them. We've got a further level, and again goes through those, detailing them. And that is it. We're on to the final one. That's Encounters. And then we've got the Castle of Ledinoth. And gives you the tale of it, and the mage, so the powerful man that controls it. We've got some NPCs, what the players are going through as we map it out. The task, how to get them into it. But again, it's a kind of dungeon bash. We've got some alternate adventures, just about a paragraph on each. The abduction of Ilnith, the breaking of a clan, the rescue from the Brotherhood. Talking about getting employment in Strayhold, the random encounter table, some Games Master notes. Stats for NPCs, stats for nameless NPCs, and then a nice colour map of Strayhold itself. As you can see, there's a river which has formed these ravines, the city which is crammed into these little spaces. We've got different tower gates, we've got bridges across, keeping the important stuff above the city. The mage that controls it lives in a castle higher than anybody else, on the top of one of these plateaus, with the city in the gullies beneath it. Very, very nice design, and you're kind of going up across these bridges to defeat him if you're going. There's a few ramps down as well as you get into the city from different directions. And that is it. There's not a huge amount to it. It's a nicely thought out location, but the adventures are a real disappointment. They serve the purpose of getting you to there. Like in any location sourcebook you would get for Shadowrun or Cyberpunk, they give you some adventure ideas to use the content of the book. And that's what this is. It's very misleading, the cover, saying it's an adventure module. I would say this is fleshing out the world with some adventure ideas thrown in. But I suppose the adventure ideas do take up slightly over half the book. So that was Brigands of Mirkwood, and that won the poll this week with some 34% of the vote. Way ahead of everything else, because in second place was Goldfinger for the James Bond 007 RPG, which came on 25%. After that, on 24%, was Pumpkin Patch Panic for Ghostbusters RPG, which I kind of hoped because it was going to be a Halloween-themed one, but alas not. And way back behind was the Gemini Conspiracy for Star Race, which came in on only 17%. Sad as Star Race was my first RPG, so I'd love to have brought some attention to that. But alas, not this time. And all of those are wiped out of the poll as usual, and we're going over to a retro RPG one. And mainly it's stuff off my collection. So, first up, we've got Virtual Realities for Shadowrun. Now, this is the Hacking and Matrix book. I haven't covered it. I covered the Street Samurai catalogue, I covered the Grimoire ages and ages ago, but this is a first edition Shadowrun sourcebook I haven't covered, so it'd be great to get that out of the way and cover one of the final books I haven't covered for first edition Shadowrun. After that, we've got The Adept's Way, which is for Earthdawn, came out from Faza in 1995. Now, Earthdawn is one of my favourite fantasy settings, and in it, everybody is magical, everybody is a magical adept. So this is a sourcebook going into details about that, how in this world of magical people the players will stand out by having certain techniques. After that, we've got the Reformation Coalition Equipment Guide for Travel the New Era from Games Designers Workshop in 1994. Now this is a source book of equipment and things for Traveller New Era, which is the version of Traveller I was most familiar with, that I played the most. While I love the original Traveller and Mega Traveller and all that, this is the one that I got into first. And I would love to look through this book that I've owned since those days. It's been heavily used. And finally, we've got Chill, Adventures into the Unknown by Pacesetter Games in 1984. And again, we're coming up to Halloween, so here we've got a horror game. I think it'd be well worth covering. So, it's in your hands, make your decision, let's see what you want to see. I have my suspicions. But we shall see. I've been wrong in the past, and I will be wrong again. What else have I been up to? Well, over RPG Gamer, I'm covering the Legacy 2013 series, which is set 100 or so years after the movies, detailing out where the galaxy has gone. Now, I much prefer it to the original Legacy series, but there's some issues which are floundering a bit. But if you're interested in seeing what I've got to say about it, and seeing all the stats that I'm generating of high-tech, far-future Star Wars equipment and characters, then come on over to RPG Gamer and check it out. But anyway, as usual, I think I've been whittering on for quite long enough, so thank you very much for watching. But as always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.